You try and jump with your arms like this and head a ball away.
That's what it is. We're both there, and it's kind of hit us both. And now Højlund hasn't appealed for handball.
I would just want to get up and get him back, but...
You're Wesley Brown, you would.
Hello and welcome to the debate. Absolutely delighted that I've got a full cast here. Ian Irving, host of Talk of the Devils podcast, is with us. Wes Brown and Dion Dublin, two of Manchester United's finest. And look, there's only one place to start, isn't there? And that is the best performance of the season against Liverpool, Ian?
I'd agree, yeah. I don't think you could describe it any other way. It was a real turn-up for the Bucks. I worked the game at Anfield. I've never been told before the game by so many people what the score was going to be. And there's no point coming today and phrases like that. And Wesley just...
Is that when you turned up?
That's when he first turned up, yeah. You're at Anfield, aren't you? It's the home faithful. Huge grins on the faces. Some of them didn't say anything; they just smile at you, you know.
So they've won it before.
Oh yeah.
Before. Oh wow, a lot of confidence there, eh? I just think it was so different, wasn't it? It was just so different. It was just body language was different, energy was different. There was smile on the faces of the players, and I just felt from what I was seeing that they believed that they could win the game, and they played like that.
It was like a different attitude.
Yeah. And absolutely.
That normally happens at your Liverpools, your Cities, but we've been missing it throughout the season. Yeah. We might show up for 20 minutes here and there, but this was the whole team, everybody committed, everybody getting stuck in and believing that, you know, for every man, we can win this game. And I know we didn't win, but I think for a neutral, it was a great game to watch, first of all.
Definitely.
But on our point of view, you know, if we play like that, we've got to start winning games. You know, you're playing against top of the league there, and you're pretty much matching them in every way.
You know, the weirdest thing is, for players, it's easy to play against Liverpool and Man City and all the big sides that you expect to struggle against, because you're expected to raise your game because you're playing against Liverpool. So it's easier to do that. It sounds stupid, but am I right?
Oh, 100%.
Because you know you've got to go and do that, otherwise you will get beat 5 or 6.
Yeah.
United have turned up and put in an amazing performance, and probably could have nicked it as well with a couple of chances that we had. But it's the Crystal Palaces and the Fulhams, and they're the ones that's where they can get your points there.
Well, they've got to do it against Southampton, haven't they, next? That's the thing. I know we'll talk about some of the details from Sunday, and we should sort of indulge that a little bit more while we can. There's Arsenal next in the FA Cup as well before that Southampton game. But that was an encouraging aspect as well, that the manager and the captain post-game in their interviews was so clear. Where's this been? You know, it's all right, like Dion says, it's easy in a sense to do it at Anfield, but you've got to do it again in the Premier League next time up at home to Southampton. A game you're expected to win, a team that you're actually above in the table. There's not many of them left, but they are one of the ones who are left. Up to 13th now, of course. And it's just got to be better, hasn't it? Simple as. It has to be better. That has to be a benchmark, doesn't it?
That's your benchmark. It's as simple as that. Anyone drops off from that, you've got to put your hand up and take whatever comes to you in that sense, because that's the sort of standard we need. And the team will probably change a little bit, but every man who comes in, has to put that same effort in. And I think when we all do it together, you could just see the whole determination, the concentration, the tackling, the getting to the ball, in that sort of sense. I know Liverpool ended up with a little bit more percentage in possession, but when we had good possession.
Controlled the game, didn't they? Other than that 10-minute spell, Liverpool scored twice. And I think the manager's messaging as well. So I sat in the press conference before the game, and he's like, we're starved of leaders. And then lo and behold, on Sunday, Bruno Fernandes steps up, Harry Maguire steps up, Sandro Martinez steps up. All the players who you feel like that particular message would hurt.
They listened. It felt like they'd been hearing what he was putting out there. Yeah, I mean, the game was at risk of not going ahead. It went to a couple of safety group meetings before the game. It ended up being absolutely awful. You're wearing a very fetching wool number here. You were definitely wearing a very fetching clear plastic bin bag.
Yeah, I was sat on one bin bag and I had another one over my legs to make sure that I didn't get absolutely
Is
drenched.
that not front page news, by the way?
Because no one cares.
There's still time. We can make that. There's still time. That can be all over the socials if we want.
Anyway, it worked. My legs stayed dry, so yeah.
So look, good that it went ahead and good that
Glamour this pitch side reporting, you know.
It's not, is it? It's
not even the first time I've been at Anfield and sat in a bin bag either. So
St James's Park is a bit of a nightmare as well. If you sit in the wrong place at St James's Park, that can be a bit damp too. There were some pretty controversial decisions that were in there. I think we'll start with the big one, and that was the Matthias de Ligt handball that led to Liverpool's penalty. Is it a penalty, Wes?
I mean, listen, the rules say it is now, but my point is he doesn't know much about it. You could argue maybe why is his hand maybe up? You know, when you know the ball's coming in, I mean, it's still in the air, but he does take a deflection off someone. You know, I mean, he does head it. I don't know who the striker was, but he heads it,
goal,
and it looks like it's towards goal. And his arm, listen, it's not on purpose. It's just pretty. Oh, it's hit my arm, sort of thing. And he's sort of saying it did, ref, but. You know, he's pretty much where me and you are now.
Yeah, that's
so, and that's the problem, because then the rule is if it's too close, then it's not a pen. Yeah. So it's a tough one.
So
but
that's it for me. It's not a penalty.
Yeah, but no.
Mitigation. The mitigating factor
if it's the other way around, I think I would want the pen though.
it's a penalty, yeah, I agree.
But it's not.
No, I understand. No, I understand.
Anything about it.
It is, but his arm is so high, and you know, all right, you can say in the pure football sense, you know, is it handball or not? But in the rules, the way they are, in the laws of the game, they'll look at the silhouette, they'll look at natural position.
In the rules, it is now.
But that's not the laws, is it? That's the interpretation of the laws that we're applying.
In the laws, there will be the silhouette of the player. So if you are in a natural position, your arm is not up here. And if your arm is up there, they'll give it. Manchester United fans, understandably, all over social media, last season at Tottenham, Sergio Romero's got his hand above his head and they didn't give a penalty, which is fine. That's inconsistency across like 18 months' time or whatever it is. But the reason United fans are unhappy is because they think it should have been a penalty for Romero having his hand above his head in the first place. They wanted a penalty for that. So in my head, yes, they're both penalties.
I just think the proximity, I'm going to keep my red hat on here and say the proximity of it is what should turn that over. In that case, if we're talking about silhouettes and arms being in unnatural positions, there is also a shout at the other end of the field, and I think it's Gravenberch whose arm it actually hits. Ball comes into the penalty area. Rasmus Højlund's trying to get to it. It definitely hits the arm of Gravenberch as Liverpool scramble it clear. That one's... We don't even get a replay of that one.
No pen. No pen.
Why? His arm's up in the air. It's hit his arm inside the penalty area.
They're grappling with each other as well, aren't they?
What? You can't have it both. What? But his arm's up in the air.
His arm's not up in the air. His arm's here. They're both jumping to head the ball.
Because that's such a natural silhouette, that.
Yeah, when you jump in, it is, yeah. You try and jump with your arms like this and head the ball away. When you're wrestling with another player as well. What if De Ligt's arm, is it De Ligt, the player who's closest? I can't remember.
Gravenberch and
Højlund, is it? So if Højlund's arm's above Gravenberch, because just in that second he gets his arm above him and it hits Højlund's arm, is that then a free kick to Liverpool?
It's very much this situation here. You bend your arm, and it's very much one of those ones. That's what it is. We're both there, and it's kind of hit us both. And now Højlund hasn't appealed for handball because I think it's hit him as well as hit the defender. So I think Maguire's gone crazy for it because he's seen it hit an arm.
And that's the leadership.
Exactly. Well, listen, and that's what it's all about. It's all about pointing the finger and making people make decisions and man up a little bit. I don't think it's a pen. You can't give that as a pen.
This is not going the way that I thought it was going to go. It's feeling very much like things aren't going United's way.
It's on his TV. That's what it's about.
Here's one that we might find a little bit of common ground on.
Do you think it was a pen, by the way?
Which one? The last one we were talking about? No.
Gravenberch one, no. Okay, there you go.
I need to reassess how I look at football. Get some new guests. I think it's me that needs to change, clearly. We might find some common ground on the next one, and that is Darwin Núñez, who leads with a shoulder into the chin of Matthias de Ligt. He doesn't look at the ball. He's staring at Matthias de Ligt. He's gone into that challenge, for me, with the intention of making a physical contact with his opposite number with no intention of winning the ball.
Yeah, that's a bit dirty. That's dirty, that. That's how I would say. I would just want to get up and get him back, but
Those days are gone, though. Those days are gone, mate.
See, if it's vicious, then you know the ref's somehow got to look at it. VAR's got to look at it. If he's not looking at the ball at all, because sometimes I know, but sometimes you can sort of do that. You're anticipating where it is. You're not necessarily trying to smash him as well. You're just trying to put him off a little bit.
In position to get in front of the defender.
So
for
it
the
depends
ball,
if you meant it or not, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm torn on this one. Yellow card at least. Yellow card at least, which is what he got. Did he get a yellow card?
Yeah, he got a yellow card.
Okay, so he got a red card. I think might have been a little bit harsh, but I'm not sure if it's a red card. I'm on the fence about that one.
He closes the distance. There's a little bit of distance between Nunez and De Ligt, and he closes that distance down Nunez without looking at the ball, looking straight at Matthijs De Ligt. And as the ball comes down, he just makes full contact with his right shoulder.
You know
into
what? There's another side to this one,
side.
and I think sort of Brownie touched on it slightly. The other side to it is, if you're a defender, you shouldn't allow that to happen anyway. So as a defender, your arm has to be there anyway. People think that when you put your arms up, you're doing it to elbow people. You're not. You're giving yourself a circumference so that you don't clash heads. That's all you're doing it for. So when you jump, as Ian just said, you've got to go like that so you can go like that, and that's your protection so you don't clash heads.
Gives you the space to be able to react as well, doesn't it?
As a defender, you know the centre forward's going to want contact, so you have to go like that before you jump anyway. So you've got to look after yourself better.
Maybe knowing your opponent a little bit as well, because Nunez has got form for this. It's something he's done before.
Did it to Johnny Evans
in
just
the
a
game
years
at
back,
Anfield last season.
On the other side, didn't he? On the other side of the
so
pitch.
knowing your opponent a little bit. No, had he just come on the field? Obviously, he was a substitute
a couple of minutes,
midway through the second half.
Didn't he got really aggressive about the Johnny Evans one, didn't he? He got aggressive, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
He clattered him. It gets flagged by the assistant. He then batters the ball away. Nothing done for that. Then he gets the yellow card. Then you get the sarcastic clap on the thumb up to the assistant.
We should really be talking about how good United were in this game. We've spent so much time talking about the referees' decisions, which we were debating. Bruno Fernandes was brilliant. Yes. Diogo Dalot as well. Yes. He's had a really difficult season, I think, and I don't think he's been helped necessarily by the fact he's played in different systems in different positions. He's been one of the players who has been moved about
on his unnatural side
almost constantly. He's playing a left wing back role now, which, he's a right back really, isn't he? And, everyone's been talking about how difficult an afternoon Trent Alexander-Arnold had because his head's in Madrid and whatever else people have come up with. But I think he just came up against Diogo Dalot feeling confident, feeling like he had a point to prove.
Tested him inside the opening 2 minutes.
Straight away, getting him on the back foot.
Yeah.
And it just has to be something that United build on now. It has to be the reference point for moving forward, because it feels like the team's turned so many corners, they're going in circles at times, and it has to be different now.
Yeah, I mean, everyone played well, but Ugarte and Kobe as well.
Yeah.
Because when you go to them sort of places, you have to be so brave to get the ball, turn out, do a little turn out of trouble just to keep the ball, because they're on you, and if you keep losing the ball, they're just they do counter attack after counter attack, and them two for me just really did excellent, and the Liverpool team sort of couldn't get near him a little bit, and they controlled the game, passing it out, and did what they needed to do. And I thought if them two can stay fit and play together a little bit more, it's looking really
That's
good.
United's midfield now,
It looks good. It looks good.
And I think because United haven't played well for such a long time, they may have forgotten what it feels like to play well. Do you know what I mean? And now they've gone to Liverpool.
How many relegation battles were you in?
So many. So many. And you know what I mean? So many. And to then get a little bit of a reference point and muscle memory, you think, hold it a minute, that's what I've got to do in order to get a good...
Is that something then you think when you've had a really bad spell, that when you do have that one good performance after a negative run, that it can change your head almost?
Yeah, you remember what you can do and what you were doing in order to get good performances as an individual.
Yeah.
Like Wes is saying there, play them two together, keep them together, Ugarte and Kobe in there, then it just becomes natural for them again. One goes, one stays, you play on his right foot, you play on his left foot, comes easy.